Good to be back here at the Shared Universe Studios here on the Jersey Shore. I'm Rob Acampora. This is the A Game. Thanks to everybody who's been involved in this for nearly 120 episodes. A theme song from Mike Ferrantino from the band Leavenverse. Thank you very much for that. Going into tonight, happy that we could get this nailed down with this lady who may look familiar to you if you followed The Voice on NBC. From the early, I can't believe I'm saying that, from the early days of the show. It's like, okay, this is crazy that I'm going to say this. 12 years ago, the show The Voice was in like season 3, which was basically the second year of the show, happened to be the second most watched season in the show's history. So you might recognize this woman from, doing Landslide on stage and getting named by Blake Shelton to go on his team. And since then, a lot has happened, including, a few albums, Parenthood, and coming back to the scene after 7 years away. I'm very happy to have Suzanna Choffel right here on the A Game. Thank you, my dear. How you doing?
Thank you, Rob. I'm doing great. It's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So first off, this is sort of a reintroduction because you took, not that you wanted to take time off, but I think a combination of things. Obviously, congratulations becoming a parent. You have two wonderful kids at home.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they don't come in. I told their dad, I'm like, make sure they don't creep in. It's happened before. Suddenly a kid will creep in behind me. I'm like, hey. So anyway, I think they're good.
But between that and the pandemic, obviously you put those two things together and it's like going, oh, wow, okay. It takes up a lot of your time, throws curveballs along the way. So when you have 7 years to reflect between albums, how do you see this album in comparison to where you were?
So the last album I put out, Hello Goodbye, was in 2017.
Yeah.
And I actually had become a mom. I had a little one, and I was still like trying to tour and sort of trying to make it all happen. And then I sort of, I guess a couple things happened. I sort of, it felt too overwhelming to do it all. And so I was like, I'm just going to do local shows and just kind of like dive into the local scene here a little bit, but not try to be, putting out music constantly and doing all that. Then I got pregnant again, had another kid. And then, it's funny, I was like maybe 6 months after having my second child, I was like, all right, I'm feeling like I kind of want to get back out there and do this. And then the world was like, no, sorry.
Not happening.
Yep. Which looking back, I always feel guilty kind of saying this because I know it was not a blessing for many, but for me, it was a little bit of a gift because it allowed me to, really just kind of focus on family, not feel so distracted in this urgent need to get back out there and do a million things. It was sort of like it allowed me to kind of like catch my breath and take my time with it. So really it was during the pandemic that I wrote all of these songs and then kind of, emerging from it. And in 2021, I started talking to my friend producer David about doing it. We had a couple false starts because of COVID kind of happening again, and people getting it and, the studio having to shut down. And so finally in 2022, we started making it, and it felt just like this incredible resurgence of creative juju. It was just so fun and cathartic. Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about the album.
Yeah.
But you mentioned 2022. Now, you did part of the album in Los Angeles, right?
I did. So I flew out to record kind of the bones of it, if you will, with the band. So David Garza has been working for a few years with Fiona Apple and won a Grammy for working on her last album.
Right.
And so he uses Fiona's band sort of as a tracking band for a lot of artists he works with. And so he was like, why don't you fly out here? And I was really enticed by the idea of going somewhere else to make my album because I have kids. Right. And I kind of wanted to just like be in that artist mode and not have to like go to the studio and then go home and make dinner and, whatever, so it's just it was a good plan. So I went out there, we tracked. The funny thing is I went out there during a heat wave in LA. So
I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe you wouldn't mind, bring up photo number 6 because he goes out there when it's like, I'm not kidding. She was out recording this when LA and the entire state of California is having the worst heat wave they've had in so long. And that was 116 in the suburbs.
It was
You-
awful. It was
yeah,
awful. I was so upset. I was like, I was dreaming of this LA breezy weather. So it actually changed the way we recorded the album. We had to record at
really.
night
Oh,
because the studio didn't have air conditioning. Like nobody has air conditioning out there. A lot of people don't. So we were like, okay, we cannot record during the day because we'll suffocate.
yeah,
So we
120
basically
inside. It's going to probably feel like more like 140 or
Oh
one.
my God. Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
a box, you
right,
know? And I mean, they had fans and stuff, but so we switched to recording at night instead of day sessions.
right.
But I say now that looking back, I feel like it gave the album this sort of like kind of swampy night vibe that it needed, you know? And so that was kind of this interesting, whatever
Yeah.
serendipitous thing. And then, so we tracked the basics there. And then I flew back to Austin, took about a week break, then went and flew out to this really beautiful, magical studio out in West Texas. It's just south of El Paso.
Okay.
So you fly into El Paso, you drive about an hour south, right on the border of Mexico, like the mountains. It's just this
Nice.
tiny little town
Mhm.
called Tornillo. And this guy, Tony, made this incredible studio on a pecan ranch that he inherited from his family.
Wow.
It's like thousands of acres. It's insane. It's beautiful. Pecan trees, orchards. But he has all these music studios. And I mean, huge bands come from all over the world to record here. And a lot of bands from Mexico
Right.
go there. And anyway, so we recorded the rest of it, like all the vocals and the overdubs and everything else in it's called Sonic Ranch. It's basically a Sonic Ranch. So so that was really neat. So it was kind of a two-part album,
Yeah.
two very different environments and experiences, and it was all magic. I loved it. Yeah.
The album is now out and available. It's called Bird by Bird. You can find it out where you get your streaming platforms and find the music. We will give you her new single in just a few here on the A Game. A lot of other things to talk about. How we got from here, we got to go back to where we were. So with that in mind, Ming, give me photo number 2. This is kind of like just to remind everybody how long ago that was.
Yes, I had bangs.
A lot of things are going on there, and I've always been curious about this, and I know everybody's watched the show. So while you're on stage, and I noticed your eyes are closed, so you're really focused in on what you're playing. So is there a vibe on the stage where you're like, okay, I really can't see the judges. I know my eyes are closed, but if I open them up, it's like, okay, I know there's people out there. I know there's 4 chairs out here, but how much of that does sink into your subconscious? Do you actually see it and you kind of go, oh my God?
Yeah, I could see them for sure. And that's probably why I closed my eyes. I was like, but the cool thing is, so this is funny. I mean, this doesn't happen for everyone, but Adam turned really fast. Like
I did notice that. Photo number 3, if you mind. Yeah, there he was, right there. Yeah. He was right on it. I mean, definitely.
And he was about to and it was like, I mean, it was literally like 2 phrases into my song, And so it was almost harder because I'm just sitting there serenading Adam Levine, basically, trying to keep it together.
So it almost like you're saying, basically more pressure then, because like, oh my God, he's already turned around. Oh my God, he's really interested. Oh my God, can I finish the song?
It's weird. Like in a way, it sort of takes the pressure off, right? Because it's like, well, a chair is turned. I'm automatically on the show. So of course there's the voice in my head that was like, awesome,
Right.
But I was also like, oh my God, I got to keep going and see if I can get another. Not that I really cared about too many chairs turning. I just wanted to get on.
Sure.
And then of course Blake waited until like the very end, It's like they both like sort of bookended,
Then give me photo 5 if you wouldn't mind. There it was. Boom.
Yes.
He's ready. He's around.
Good old Blake. And then I had to choose between them. And that was so hard because they were the 2 that I had in my mind from the get-go that I would want to be on either of their teams. But I hadn't really...
The other 2 judges, to remind everybody, at the time was CeeLo Green and Christina Aguilera.
And I loved both of them. I was a fan, but I just kind of thought for what I did and for like, it just kind of they made sense to me a little bit more. I
would agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then it was kind of very flattering. They fought over me for a little bit. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. How long should I let this go on for? But no, I ended up choosing Blake. And I don't regret it at all. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd have chosen Adam. I think everybody probably plays that game in their mind,
How could you not? There's always going to be that hindsight moment.
Yeah.
And if I can bring some hindsight, because you look back on it, when you got knocked out by the woman who won.
I know.
I mean, that's the crazy part. Cassidy Pope just kind of
exactly. exactly. And I'm like, if I'd have been on Team
Yeah.
Adam, would I have been paired against her?
Right.
And
Yeah.
all those things in your head,
Has to.
yeah,
Isn't it
yeah,
natural?
yeah,
But I mean,
totally.
does it take solace a little bit when you say, "Oh, I did lose to the person who won"?
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. And really, I mean, I got some incredible press from my time on The Voice. There was this one writer, Jessica Hopper at Rolling Stone, who really took like a shining to me and was like, she's the only contestant you'd want to listen to a complete album from. She has something kind of different. She's
Yes.
not one of those big voice singers, but she has this like really, she really, I feel like she got me, and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't expect that to happen.
Sure.
And so that was really, really cool. And so there were, and I made so many great friends on that show. It was a very unique season because season 3 was kind of this experimental season where they were trying out bigger teams. So it was like 17 people on a team so there were 2 knockout rounds. It was crazy. So anyway,
if I remember correctly, that was the first season of The Steal, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was that too.
So
yeah,
here's,
totally.
this new show, basically only a year old, but in season 3, and they're already going, oh, let's try this. We're gonna
Totally.
put this in.
Yeah.
Even if you have this preconceived notion about this new show, you get on there and it's like, oh, this is all different than I thought.
It's all different. They try to make it different every season a little bit, which is smart. And so it's like if I'd have been on a different season, maybe, that I won my first knockout. But then usually when you win your first knockout, you go to the lives then, but they did 2 knockout rounds. And the second one was the Cassidy Pope one. So it's all good. It's fine. I have no hard feelings towards Cassidy. We were friends. We're still, we keep in touch. A lot of people on the show do keep in touch, which is
That's
fun.
good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. And hey, look, Cassidy did well. She had a top 5 hit.
Absolutely.
Number 1 with Chris Young on a great duet.
No, she's doing great. Yeah.
She really has.
She's awesome. Yeah. And the show was, like I said, it was a wild ride of an adventure that I have no regrets doing. So, yeah.
Were you surprised by anything as far as being that it was a new show, the impact that it had? I mean, you had an idea just the first 2 seasons, but still going on there is still that this is still all new. I don't know if I'm going to get as much as I thought I would have got. You got great exposure. Like I said, second most watched season in the Voice history. So
no, I always take it as a great sign when it's so funny because on YouTube you can search a lot of the performances, but they start taking them down as and mine is still up there, and I'm like, yes.
And I got to admit, I was happy to see that because it was like going, oh, good, I can get some still shots.
Totally, exactly. I'm like, I'll be sad the day it goes away. But anyway, So I can't remember what we were saying, but yes,
the impact. Was it surprising to you how much of an impact it had, publicity wise and fans?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Overnight, it was pretty wild watching. I think at that time, Facebook was probably the biggest social media platform and Instagram was starting to grow, but it was just like my followers just overnight, on all of those platforms just went huge. It was really neat seeing all the new fans in different countries, like in Asia, tons of new Asian fans who were like, oh my God, and one of the coolest things in particular, because I did that song Landslide, it's a really special song to so many people. Like, oh my God, I got so many personal messages from people that were like, that was me and my mom's song or me and my dad's song, and she just passed away. And really beautiful, heartfelt messages of just like, thank you so much. That was like such a meaningful performance. And that like really, really made me happy. It was very impactful. So, yeah.
It was one of those songs in general that kind of, I won't say slipped through the cracks with Fleetwood Mac, but it was not one of the quote unquote mainstream rock songs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It became a little more known when Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins actually decided to cover it for a while. Then they did it in their big time acoustic performance they did for MTV. And suddenly the song got, in a sense, rediscovered.
Exactly. Kind of had a resurgence. And
bring a little more resurgence to a great song. That's always a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It was awesome. And that kind of became my calling card for a while, any performance I did, I had to do Landslide, and now I only do it every now and then, or like if someone requests it, but I never really get sick of playing that song. It's such a beautiful song. It's fun to play on guitar too. And I also felt really special that they let me play guitar because they don't let everybody play guitar, all the contestants. Some of them like want to or really try to vie for themselves to do it, and they heard me and they were like, we love the way you play, you get to play guitar. So
that's interesting to know. So it's not automatic if you're playing guitar that they're going to say,
Right.
yeah, you can play.
Sometimes they want you to, and maybe it depends on the song too. Maybe they want you to kind of come out in this big way, dramatic way with just the microphone or whatever. But I was so grateful too, because I would have been so nervous of like what to do with my hands, you know? So the guitar is definitely like this like safety thing for me where I'm like,
Sure.
I've got my guitar, I can be grounded, you know? So yeah, but that was cool. Yeah.
I want to round back because we were talking about performing. You, by the way, Susanna lives in Austin, Texas. This is one of the best music towns in America,
Yeah.
bar none, hands down.
Yeah.
And I'll elaborate a little bit more later on in the podcast about that. But that gives you a lot of opportunities. It gives you a lot of opportunities to play out with a lot of great people, just not only in the scene, but those who come in and tour from the smaller venues to the larger venues. So I would think being in a town like that gives you at least a chance to kind of go, I can keep my chops going even if I'm not recording anything.
Absolutely.
I can make a little bit of money on the side, and I can still do this in probably one of the best towns in America.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I said, that period of time where I wasn't really releasing new music and I was a new mom, I was still playing out weekly, you know. And it's great because you can keep your chops up with gigs every single week if you want to. You can really kind of play as much or as little as you want to here, you know. I sometimes am turning down gigs because I have like, you know, so many, and so I'm not trying to brag or anything, but but no, it's the live music capital of the world, you know, and there's an incredible music scene here. The music community is really tight and supportive of each other. You know, I just played a show last night in town with 3 other singer-songwriters. It was kind of an in the round thing. And it was amazing. It was like we were all very different singer-songwriters and styles, and the crowd there just loved all of it. You know, it's like people here they just eat up music, you know, they devour it. So
you bring up styles.
Yeah.
You're somebody who can do just about anything. That's the thing with you. It's like,
thanks.
you know, if I had a list like, okay, who are the top 5 independent females in this genre? You're on the list. I mean, no offense, a good friend of mine, Nicole Atkins, number 1.
I love Nicole. She's awesome.
I love Nicole.
She's amazing. She's amazing. I used to know her back in New York in the day. Yeah, we'd hang out.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, we used to sing at the same bar sometimes. Like she was, I love her. She's super cool. Yeah.
Nicole, if you're watching this, God love you. Hope to see you soon. Yeah, I mean,
shout out to you, Nicole.
She grew up in Neptune, New Jersey.
Right.
The funny story with her was she even said, it's like, you were my favorite DJ on that radio station I used to listen to. And I was like,
yes,
blushing beyond blushing.
I love it.
Yeah, to listen to FM 106.3 HDG and to have that kind of influence and then become a friend with her, it's like going, oh my God. And
that's super cool.
Yeah, and I said it best with her. I said, you've done everything that you can do as an independent artist. You've had a top 100 album. You've been on Letterman. You've had a YouTube hit. You've done well overseas. You've toured with everybody. The only thing she's missing is the quote-unquote top 40 hit. That's the only thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. So yeah.
It raises a question just on the fly. It's like, as an indie artist, is that important to you that it's like, do you have to have the hit? I mean,
not really. To me personally, no. I'm sure everybody has a different response to that.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, it would be incredible, but that's not what I'm striving for, I guess. Like, it's like, if it happens along the way and, you know, serendipity and like the right, maybe collaboration and the right, but I don't know. I just make music that I like and that I think people will like. And I'm very selfish.
It's honest.
I'm the only one who cares. No, I'm just kidding.
Easy now.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, yes, I like you were saying about like combining different styles or different genres, you know.
You kind of created your own in the process because you can't pigeonhole you in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I happen to think, this is just opinion, growing up in around the Austin music scene, which has so many different levels that it could go from adult alternative to Tejano rock to groove. I mean, there's so many different levels to this, and I know it's like, okay, you can have a reggae song, you could have a pop song, you could have a rock song, you could blend it all together. Best example I can give, and go to her YouTube channel, find the video she did for Austin City Limits Radio. It's called Hey Mister. Yeah. So if you take a look at that, and she has it labeled on one of her social medias as considering herself sultry indie pop. If you're wondering what sultry indie pop is, here's my definition just by the song Hey Mister. A Fleetwood Mac influence with a reggae flair with edgy pop overtones.
Love it. That works for
Yeah,
me.
right. Yeah,
That works for
okay.
me. I was raised on a lot of Fleetwood Mac, and then I became a huge reggae fan in college. And I somewhere in the middle, there's a lot of things. You're right. Growing up in Austin, I grew up. My parents were really into kind of like the folk singer songwriter scene, but also like blues. And I grew up going to Antone's, legendary blues club, and
Sure.
kind of grew up alongside Gary Clark Jr. He's a little younger than me, but we went to the same high school, and
Oh, wow.
went to the same high school as a lot of incredible musicians,
Really?
Ian Moore and Jake Andrews and all these like Austin blues kids, and so that was a huge influence on me, was the blues. How could it not be, right?
Right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan and just all the, all of that going on here. It's just in the water, right?
Right.
But also, yes, the Tejano, I was a huge fan of Selena, I love songs in different languages, and I think a lot of that is because of that. And I have a little bit of Mexican heritage, and San Antonio, my family all listened to that kind of music, and so that all was definitely informing me, I think, growing up. And then of course you mix that with like the 90s R&B that I came up on, and like Lauryn Hill and Mary J. Blige, along with the singer-songwriters like Fiona Apple and Sarah McLachlan, the kind of Lilith Fair sort of crew. And it all just sort of, bubbled in my brain. And then I went off to college. I feel like in college, that's sort of where I explored more like global sounds, like reggae and Latin. And I got really into Cuban music, and somehow it all trickles into what I do, So yeah.
Which makes for a great album that you should take a listen to and download when you get an opportunity. Bird by Bird, now available. This is the part where I can at least set it up and say, Suzanna Choffel is here on the A Game. We are going to play her new single, My Words. Ming, get the video ready. And this is definitely the pop side of
Suzanna, exactly.
Enjoy this and check it out. Her new single is here on the A Game.
Oh yeah, come on. Hey y'all, it's your girl Santa here, checking in. I know it's been a while. Let's have some fun.
I remember long ago, pen on paper I would flow till the sun became the moon. Back when I could sleep till noon. So much space inside my mind, and all the time to try to find exactly what I meant to say. That when we used to sing, ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, we used to sing, ooh, 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 ooh. Nowadays I run around chasing after little sounds, taking care of little minds, grabbing on the scraps I find, buried underneath it all, the overflowing waterfall of everything I need to say. I need my words. Where are they? Running in your words. I can't find them. I need my thoughts. Can't hear them swimming in your thoughts. Oh, now me and my girl sing, ooh, 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 ooh. Me and my girl sing, ooh, 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 ooh,
Hey baby, do you remember long ago, dancing till our skin would glow, till the moon became the sun, back when we could sleep till one? So much space inside our minds, and all the time to try to find exactly what we meant to say.
I need my words. Where are they? Running in your words. I can't find them. I need my thoughts. I can't hear them swimming in your thoughts. And I'm drowning and we sing, ooh, 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 ooh.
The laugh at the end and the sigh. That's the reason at the end. That's beautiful.
Thank you. I was like, let's leave that in. That's so good. It's like
That was not intentional. It was just one of those.
it was one of those things that they just kind of, and he was like, should I take it out? And it's so funny because I have this distinct memory of Janet Jackson has a song. I don't know if you remember. It's
Oh yeah.
what have you done for
Rough
me
Play With
lately?
My love, and I just will have a good.
And at the end, yes, exactly. And at the end, she's like, she like laughs or giggles or whatever, and it's so cute. And I love it. I always loved hearing that. And I was like, I think it's fun. It matches the mood or the vibe.
No question. No.
Yeah.
Question.
So anyway.
So no, that's cool, and that's what you can expect. Well, one of the things you can expect because this album's going to have a lot of different influences, and if you like something a little bit adventurous, this is the lady you want to definitely. Worth the time, worth your money, worth the effort, and that is the single My Words. Suzanna Choffel's here on the A Game. Not only is she a mom, not only is she a great musician, she has a little side gig. Give me photo number 8. You can always stream her here. I believe it's Wednesday nights on Sun Radio in Austin, Texas. That is also got, I think, little translators throughout the state of Texas, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, totally. It's great. We have a lot of like little sister hill country kind of stations all throughout small towns. And
nice.
It's been a fun, I mean, I love music. I love talking about it. And like as a DJ, it's just fun to be able to share that with people. And so it was a fun little side gig I picked up kind of right before the pandemic. And I used to be on a lot more, but then once I was releasing an album, I was like, I think I need to step back a little bit. So now I just do a couple shifts a week, but I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah, you're natural on the mic, so that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
But I got to say, as somebody who has interviewed only a handful of musicians who have done the radio thing, where it's like, okay, I take a Brian Van Ark or the Verve Pipe, who's now being heard on afternoons at a radio station in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay,
it's almost that like, okay, I got to do the interview. And normally you'd be fine, no problem. I've done enough interviews, but it's like, yeah, but they're on the radio. You screw this up, you'll never live it down.
The bar is high. They're one of you. They know.
Yeah, exactly, because normally you'd be here. Now it's here. Oh my God.
No, it just means that I enjoy doing this maybe more than some of my friends who hate doing interviews. I'm like, I love it. I love talking to people because it's just, it's my personality. So
yeah, I would think that in this day and age, especially with podcasts have exploded as much as they have, that it would be important to have that, not necessarily love it, but at least like the skill, because if you don't come across like you're liking it, it's going to hurt you and you avoid it. And then it's like, well, where'd the artist go? Well, because this is the way to do interviews these days.
Exactly. You have to connect with people. And this is the new way of connecting with people, which I love. I think it's great. So yeah.
No, I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah.
Now we go to the segment, which I call Random Shots. I do this with every one of my guests.
All right.
Yeah, this is called me stalking Susanna's Instagram feed. And also going with a theme here. You will see that the theme being very much Austin, Texas. Okay. So if you don't know anything about Austin, Texas, I guarantee you over the next 15 minutes, you're going to learn something. So if I may, Ming, I want to start with photo number 11. Now, this is the logo of the Major League Soccer team, the Austin FC. Now, you'll notice the tree that's going on here. And I had to learn this because I was kind of curious. I'm like going, why do they use a tree as their logo? So give me photo number 10. So apparently this is a big deal in Austin, Texas. Explain why the Treaty Oak is such an important landmark in Austin.
Well, the Treaty Oak has been around it's like hundreds of years old. Like maybe, I don't want to say thousands. I think it's hundreds. And honestly, I am blanking on the significance other than that. I feel like it had a significant part in maybe, I know there is a tree. I don't know if it's the Treaty Oak, but there is a tree in Austin where like a significant piece of history went down, like the meeting of like generals or, like Native American and generals, like during.
Yeah. That if you.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, I'm like, you're going to make me Google this. No, I can't. I'm not going to cheat. Do you know the significance?
No, I was reading up on it. That sounds about right. And it's like, I'm cracking up. I'm going to spit water. She's going to make me spit water.
I'm like sitting here on my phone over here. I'm like, Treaty Oak. It's one of those things that it's so funny. It's like, I feel like you probably know this, like wherever, you live in Jersey, you hear something, you know of something, you grew up with it, right? But it's like, it becomes so much a part of like the air you breathe that you almost forget like why it's
No, that
significant,
makes
you
sense.
know?
That makes total sense.
It's
So
like the tourists find out why it's significant, but you
right.
can't remember, you know, because it's
You
been
was
around
just
so
like,
long. But
I'm taking the kids around the neighborhood. We're going to see the tree.
yeah,
We keep moving. Yeah.
exactly. It's just another tree. But there is something, let's see. You know what? Okay, sorry. I did Google. I'm sorry. Because I couldn't leave you completely hanging. I at least wanted to, and I wasn't completely wrong. Okay, hold on. It is the last surviving member of the Council Oaks, a grove of 14 trees that served as a sacred meeting place for Comanche and Tonkawa tribes before European colonization of the area. So yeah,
That's
I
a big
think
deal.
it's believed to be about 500 years old. So I forgot. Like I knew it had something to do with,
Right.
history and people meeting and anyway.
I think it's interesting though. You get a major sports franchise using that as their logo. I mean, that's huge.
It is interesting. When you started talking about it, I was like, oh crap, I don't know. And I just assumed, I was like, I bet it's like the live oak, because the live oak is just like a huge tree. I mean,
Yeah.
everywhere. And so I just thought maybe they went with like live oak. But when you said treaty oak, I was like, oh yeah, that's an important one, a significant one here in town. So yeah, I still haven't made it to an FC game, but at some point I will. So
well, that's it. Matthew McConaughey is coming over your house. Then I'm telling you, he's trying to drum up business. And
totally. Oh my God. I know. I'm trying to get to where I can, I'm trying to audition somehow to sing the anthem there. Cause that's the cool way to go to a game. Cause they roll out the red carpet for you if you sing the anthem. So,
and props to the team. They're drawing really, really well. So
they really are. They are.
Hear that.
Yep.
Here's something else that I think is distinctively Austin. And I didn't know about it as I was scrolling it, but I think everybody's got this in their town. But Ming, photo number 12, because I'm finding out about Amy's Ice Cream.
Oh, yeah.
You smile. Explain to me this Mexican vanilla. What is this?
So good. It's so good. It's just like a different type of vanilla bean they use. And it's like, it's different than regular vanilla ice cream. It's got something richer in it that just has a slightly different. I think it also might have a hair of cinnamon or something in it. It's got like a spice in it that sort of gives it a different bit of flavor. But I mean, it's funny you mention it because my favorite thing to get there is Mexican vanilla with strawberries. It's like on a hot Austin day, that is the thing to get. And I've been going there since I was a kid. So
yeah. I was reading up on it and I'm saying, wow, this is huge. Not just in Texas. I mean, this is Southwest reestablished company who really, like me growing up in Jersey, that'd be like the equivalent of saying, all right, franchise wise, Carvel, but not
right. Right. Totally. Yeah. But
Definitely.
No, they've done very well for themselves. They're great Austin institution. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm making a note of that when I go to Austin.
Yeah. For sure.
Random shots with Suzanna Choffel as we're talking about Austin. I'd be remiss if I don't bring up South by Southwest. Because for people who don't know, this started out as this small music festival. It's turned into this juggernaut.
Huge.
Festivals. So have you ever played South by Southwest?
Definitely. Yes. I've played several times and I actually played last year and I'm playing again this year. And but I played a lot, in my earlier years too, coming up in the scene. And I mean, God, it's so funny. We love to compare, musicians here love to compare war stories of like how many gigs they've played in a South by, because especially back in the day, I mean, it's still a little bit like this, but back in the day when you were just starting out, like, okay, so like everybody would have day parties. There was the actual conference that goes on, but of course, around the conference, they do tons of every restaurant in town, every bar in town just does music because it attracts people, right? And there's so many people in town for the festival. So there would be times where I would play like 12 shows in 1 week, and you're just like going from one thing to the next. And I mean, I would always lose my voice. I don't do that anymore. I do like 3 shows, if that. So yeah, but it's funny. It's like, if you've been here long enough as an Austin musician, you have some funny South by you have a lot of South by memories and you have some fun war stories to share with, like, I call them war stories. It's like, because, it's like a battle. Battle of the bands.
Battle of the bands. Yeah, because that's the thing. Being in radio at that point in the 1990s, that was the thing. If you could get out to South by Southwest, you're in for a week of just, if you're a music head, this was the place to be. It's more than that now in 2024. But I will say back in the 90s, going there, you appreciate it. How did I find out about South by Southwest? I bring you photo number 13. I don't know if you're going to remember this, but
Oh my God. Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Love you.
KNAC. Yes. 107. Oh man. That was listened to it all the time as a preteen and teen. And that's where we got all of our good, indie rock and
Yep.
grunge and all the good stuff. Yep. Totally. I'll always remember that. Their
Mhm.
logo. Yep.
God bless my good friend Mike Peer, who was a part of that station for so many years.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so many greats. Yeah. That I know. I'm trying to remember all the DJs I used to listen.
I'll give you two more who I know pretty well, but Mike's a very good friend of mine. Almost got me to work at KNAC in Austin. I
Wow.
was like that close. I'm like, I'm moving. No, I'm not. All right. But I thank him to this day, all these years later. But guys like Paul Kriegler and Lynn Barstow, who are fantastic human beings, who were
Yes.
a big part of making KNAC what it was
Yep.
in Austin. So obviously,
For
that
sure.
had a big influence.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. That was the station we listened to. KNAC was huge. So yeah, that's awesome. I love that you pulled that up.
No, thank you. I mean, in a world where alternative music in the 90s, there was like certain ones that were groundbreakers.
For sure.
KNAC was in the top 5 or 10, depending on what list you want to put.
Absolutely.
It's one of the groundbreaking stations, and not surprised in Austin, Texas, you would
Yep.
have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So that was the tour of Austin. I only got 2 more questions here on Random Shots, because we talk about you're doing the music, you're doing your family, and you're doing the radio thing. But I also found something on social media. I'm trying, Ming, there should be a photo of her laying on something. I think it maybe, is it 7? Maybe. I'm thinking, no, that's a radio.
That's radio. That's my radio.
Yeah, by the way, that's a radio.
Headshot. Yep.
Yeah, that's radio head. Did it come over? No, maybe it didn't come over. I had a. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's number 1. Is it number 1? Yes, that's it. I knew I had
my hammock.
I'm like going, that's a podcast waiting to happen. You know that.
Well, you know what's funny is I literally posted that yesterday. It was just like a little, just a plug for my show that I had last night. And I was like, I'm in the hammock. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I got to the gig and I was joking with my friend, Matt, and he was like, hammock time. That's what you call it. Hammock time, like hammer time. And I was like, that's pretty good. I like that. So I might do hammock time. I might just do news from the hammock, but I feel like it's just like it relaxes everybody because I look super relaxed in it. And so it's just like, here's my relaxing news for today. So it'll be like an what's the word? Like an the usual news, which is just like,
it's sort of like a modern version of, and now it's time for another deep thought.
Yes, exactly. A deep thought for sure. Oh yes. Oh my God. I used to love that. It was so good.
Did too. Oh my God. They were
Stuart,
hilarious.
what's his Stuart?
Yeah, I can't think of his. I know, but it was Stuart.
Oh,
yeah.
So good. Yeah.
Remember another deep thought.
Oh, I love it.
All right, one more random shot, and I'm curious to see how you're going to answer this, because one of your songs, give you an example, that she can do something very jazzy, which is not a surprise with her style. Something like Rain Cloud is modern jazz.
Yeah.
Now, there's Postmodern Jukebox, who basically take jazz and do what they do, and then do such a
them. Yeah.
You are obviously a perfect fit for Postmodern Jukebox as a guest musician, singer. If you could pick one song that you want to do with Postmodern Jukebox, which one do you choose?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, what's funny is I used to actually sing with, was it Scott Bradley? He's the guy who started Postmodern Jukebox.
Yeah.
So this is how I know Nicole Atkins is there was a bar in there was a bar in New York called the Mandalay Bar that my husband actually managed. It was part of Sleep No More. Do you know Sleep No More? It's that crazy like immersive theater sort of thing. So there was a jazz bar that you go into, and there's a jazz band, and like you're in character. So I was a jazz singer in the band, and it was the Postmodern Jukebox guys. It was like the beginnings of that. So anyway, so I have a connection to them, and I've thought about reaching out to them every now and then and being like, "Can I do a song with you guys?" But I got to figure out what song I would do. Oh man, I feel like I did work one up one time that was kind of a jazzy version of a rock song. And what was it? Oh God, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. I don't know. It would probably be some like 90s indie rock kind of thing that I would do, but I'm trying to think what it would be. Maybe Pixies.
That would.
I don't know. Have they done Gigantic? That would be cool. Like,
I don't think
Gigantic.
Yeah.
Gigantic.
That could actually work.
A big love.
Never in a million years would I thought of it. Then you start doing it and going, oh my God, that could work. Oh my
It could work, right? I mean, so many songs could work. That's the brilliant thing about that band is that, I mean, it's like you really take any song and you can make it jazz, you know. Some work better than others, but it is fun I love doing that. I love like flipping songs and like, okay, what would this sound like this? So yeah.
It's interesting because my first thought, like, if you're going Pixies, the easy one would have been Here Comes Your Man.
Yeah, totally. Like, here comes a man. Yeah, that would be a good one too.
Right. But honestly, that's easier than Gigantic. Gigantic would be an interesting challenge. And I'd be like, okay, she just turned this song way upside down.
Well, so I guess I thought of that because I used to cover Gigantic, and when I did it, I would do it pretty close to the original, but I would sometimes kind of change my phrasing and play with Kim's phrasing and be like, I would kind of do this. And this I know, his teeth as white as snow. It's like she kind of like those lyrics kind of, you can be playful with them in a jazzy kind of way.
Right.
And then if you just kind of take the grunge out of it and use the chords but make it jazzy, it works. So anyway, I love this conversation. This is so fun.
I do too, because it just seems so obvious to me that it's like Postmodern Jukebox and Suzanna are like, it should have been a marriage that was done years ago.
I know. I'll be late to the game. I'll call them up now.
I don't think it's your fault. I'm blaming the band now. I mean, come on.
It's a great outfit. That's a great project. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, the strange connections I have with you is just, to me, that alone has been just a thrill.
Yes.
Spend this time with you, because I'm like, oh my God, she knows the call. Oh my God, I know this.
Yes.
Like, that's so weird.
I feel like it's like 3 degrees of separation from people these days. I don't know. Maybe not. But like I do find these fun little connections in this world, you know, where it's like, oh, you know so-and-so, I know so-and-so, you know. So
right. And like I said before, I'm going to give props to my friend Ray Roldan, because Ray was the one that was basically saying, would you want to do this? I'm like, oh, absolutely. And
Ray's awesome. Yeah.
No, he's a big supporter of this podcast. And I think
awesome.
Without a doubt. Suzanna, I'm going to plug it one more time. The album is now out and available on your streaming platforms. Go purchase it. Bird by Bird is available. You got to hear My Words. That's the new single. Hopefully some radio airplay coming this lady's way, at least in the adult alternative vein, for sure.
That would be cool. Yes, absolutely.
Well, enjoy what's going on right now. Will there be,
Thank you.
I know obviously trying to balance a tour at this point with family, but do you see something in 25 where maybe you migrate?
I do. I've got New York in mind, and I do have LA. So trying to do an East Coast and a West Coast sort of run, even if it's just a few shows, hopefully for spring. So keep your eyes peeled. I should have something coming up soon. So yeah,
I will make sure to mention that. And it pretty much, I know who to call too.
Yes.
If thinking something going, hey, Ray.
Exactly. I'll definitely have him let you know, should I come your way. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you for the time, by the way, my dear.
Thank you for your time. This was so fun. You're fabulous. I love talking to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's a wrap for the A Game. I know I got 2 more episodes before this year is through, but if we don't talk before then, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday that is coming up, and see you guys soon. Suzanna, thanks again.
Cheers.